right, I think we're back, and I'm looking at a very, very smug Michael Bolton right now. The only one who truly believed in this result in the studio, probably. Although I did bet on them, so I was right as well.
Well, I think it was a close match. It could have gone either way. NC Dot put up a good fight.
You're being very graceful.
Well, it's sometimes luck just lands on your side, and I think Tess got a little bit lucky here, a little pilot skill. Could have gone either way.
Test had a very good setup.
Yeah, they had a fantastic setup. It's all about the Windicators, I think. They took last week's matches and saw the Vindicators and just saw how great of a ship they are in the tournament format, and put out a really strong setup with the Inyos, high DPS Inyos, 350 or so DPS on the Inyos, and then the Vindicators 9% webs. I didn't like the Northern Collision setup. I think the Crewers could have been better used as possibly Sentinels or just something that could stay farther out of range. But like I said, overall, I didn't like the setup with the autocannon Lokis and the autocannon Hurricanes.
Who'd you pick to win that match again?
I believe I picked Northern Coalition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's so strong about the Vindicators?
Like Vindicators, their bonuses are just ideal with the amount of DPS they're able to put out in the tournament. They're actually pretty quick, even when armor tanked. They have 9% web, or not 9%, but I think it's 5% web effect per level, which it brings up a 40% web to about 90%, which is amazing. And the tournament being able to slow a ship that far down. And then they also have the tracking bonus and damage bonus. So you're looking at probably like 1,400 DPS, depending on what drones they're packing. So they're able to cut through those ships and just kill everything.
All right. We're just going to go to the commentators quickly, and then we're going to come back and hopefully talk some more about third-party apps.
Hi, I'm CCP Sunset, back in the commentary booth with John Zastro and Ravy.
Hello.
Firstly, Ravy, how do we say your name? Because this has been really bugging me. I keep hearing John Zastro saying it differently from how I say it.
Honestly, I didn't think about that when I was making it. So pronounce it however you want. People pronounce it different ways. I answered or whatever.
There's an I in it, so I say Rivey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I rhyme it with gravy in my mind.
I
True
think
story.
I was making that joke last week too. I was like, gravy, ravy.
I didn't actually think that I was going to keep playing Eve. I was like, I'm just going to try this game out. I'll just smash the keyboard and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's what came out. And
yeah, a lot of people do that.
6.5 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
I'm another story of a 14-day free trial who didn't think he would keep going. So I was like, I'll just put my real name out there. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, no.
5 years later, now everyone knows what my name is.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you don't know when you're picking a name. Like, I picked a name that began with an A. Rookie mistake. No one told me.
Choice.
No one told me. I think CCP Alice ran into that exact problem when we had dev fleets.
My Dread Alt was an A-name guy, is an A-name guy, and I always platinum ensure my Dread Alt because he dies first every time.
So I think we'd probably like to have a look at the group and see how things are looking. Like, let's have quickly talk us through how the matches have been going and how it's all falling.
A lot of very one-sided matches, as Zaster has already mentioned. These are teams that are coming out with, usually it's been one clearly better setup. In some cases, it's been just an E-War team that had a chance of winning but then fell apart. But we've been seeing some very, very one-sided matches.
Yeah, but we're getting into Group D now, which I think of the first 4 groups of the day, I think Group D is the toughest competition. So I'm hoping we don't see as many one-sided matches. I really like the back and forth, and maybe we'll get that today.
I think we're going to see some good stuff. Group D, I'd say, is one of our death groups for this. Goon Swarm is an actual contender to win it.
Yeah, shocking. I have my squeaky bee ready for you, goons.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So getting back to some of the questions that we've had from the forum, somebody's been asking about the 12-team setup. Although it's still pretty early in the day, do you think that a 12-team setup is too many once one team starts to lose a couple of ships, that it's very easy to become completely overpowered by 12 teams remaining on the other side?
I think if both teams bring a pure brawler setup, then it'll usually go with a bunch of ships dying, because 12 ships means that there's a lot more DPS on the field. You just can't tank it all. And we saw that a lot last year with the 10 teams, or 10-man teams. But so far, it's usually been a brawling team versus a kind of kiting control team, and that usually goes one way or the other.
And I would have said before the first matches of the day that having 12 ships, the more ships on the field, it would make you more resilient from getting just completely shut out, but it hasn't happened so far today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to see, so we'll see how the rest of the matches today pan out. But for now, I think we're going to head back to the studio, and we'll see you later. So back to Soundwave.
All right, thank you very much, guys. All right, we're just going to see if we can't get a few minutes in and talk about the API. If we don't have a lot of time, we'll just continue a little bit more. So what is the API like today, and what is it going to be in the future?
Right. So the API today is a purely read functionality for Eve pilots. They can read some of their information, but it can't affect change through it. And that's pretty much the big deal we're trying to make with the new API. People call it the CREST now, where we are going to give rights to certain applications to actually impact the state of the world. Yeah, so that's the two major differences.
So essentially, we'd be going from a place where you can now in Evemon see your skills, and potentially in the future you'd be able to change skills.
Yeah, so the idea is anything you could do in the client, we could, the big word is could here, let you do with that new API. Of course, as game designers, you're going to be the one that decide what gets exposed and how, but I'm making the tech to make sure whatever it is you want to allow people to do, you can let them.
What are you guys thinking about
I
this?
think that would be amazing. I would really love to be able to change skills while at work on my Android, but yeah. So
I think EveGate's ability for me to check and write mails was great. I can only hope that more comes, more ability to sort of just not even have to log in, just only log in to fight and not have to do all the clerical work in the client.
That's the idea. I want you guys, while you're at work, to make all your clerical work in Eve, and then when you come home, you actually undock and play. You know.
I'm sure you want that. Maybe my boss doesn't want that.
I don't mind
should
much
play Eve
about your
online
boss.
then.
Yeah, exactly. You should be playing too.
the joke here is you don't have a job.
No, that's true. I'm my own boss.
But so will the V codes change?
Yes, the whole authentication architecture will change. We can talk about it a bit more later if you want.
Let's do that afterwards.
Yeah.
So from your alliance to Laz's alliance, Goonswarm versus Fearless. Predictions?
Well, Goonswarm's definitely going to win. I mean, I like Rivy said, or Gravy, like Gravy said. I think Goons are a very strong team this year, especially since last year we didn't even make it into the tournament because we were bad at the game and paying bills. But they definitely have strong setups.
I think because I'm a good ally and pick my friends to win matches, I'm going to go with Goonswarm Federation.
I'm going to go with Fearless just because I don't want everybody to go with Goonswarm.
All right, yeah, I think that Goonswarm might actually be one of the contenders this year, so Goonswarm for me as well.